Sup dudes? I've been following this company on Instagram for some time. They're called Black Ops Off-Road. We've been messaging each other recently about this new product called the Anytime Locker. I like this idea because it means I can use my locker anytime. So 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low. That's awesome because everybody that owns a 3rd gen Tacoma knows that even getting it into 4-wheel drive can be a problem sometimes. So to be able to turn my locker on at any time is going to be awesome. They also make a product called the throttle grenade, which they sent me and I installed in my truck, and it definitely wakes the truck up. This puts the throttle right at the tip of your toes. It's nice. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get to work and install this in my truck. See if it fits. See if the connectors line up. Seems like I'll just have to unplug a couple connectors and just put these connectors in between the ECU. It should be a 4-wheel drive ECU. Once these are in place, all I'll have to do is run this to one of the dash buttons. Probably have to take out a button and replace it with this button. And yeah, should be able to test it out, see if the locker engages, and we should be good to go. First step was to remove the negative battery terminal, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now and leave it disconnected. The paneling in the door just pops right up, and then there's this kicker panel that has a little plastic thumb screw. You can unscrew it and remove it, and then just pull up and out, and this thing should release. So once I pulled down here, it popped this panel apart here. So now the next step, I believe, is to remove this panel outward, and then this whole piece will come off. So I'm gonna go get the tools to do that. So I got this panel remover tool, stuffed it in between this opening, and I'm just trying to pry the clips away. So I believe you can just leave it like this, and then this piece should remove. Next, we're going to remove this airbag. It's 2 bolts there, and then another bolt here. This is a 10mm bolt. So now this airbag should peel away. So removing that was pretty simple. Now that I'm looking at it, it looks like it's 3 of these clips, which are the hardest part. I started the first one by prying this down, this little pointy piece down with my knife, and then just kind of pulled away, remove this tab from the body here. I'm not going to disconnect the airbag. I'm just going to kind of take the tension off the cable right here and let it rest on the floorboard. Next step looks like it's going to be removing the glove compartment. I'll go ahead and remove this screw here. And it looks like there's a screw there and a screw up here. That was loose. Oh, well, I missed a screw. There's another screw right up there, center of the glove compartment. it goes. It's like 3 clips that connect right there, so ultimately should be able to just pull straight back. I had to kind of wiggle it because I didn't know what I was doing. So now we got all the crap moved out of the way. I'm just gonna have to let this rest right here because I've got power coming in, 10 wire coming in for my Wii Boost. This should definitely be enough room to do what I need to do. So I believe I located the module. I think this is the ECU, and right here is the 4-wheel drive modules. These connectors look to match the connectors that are on the male and female end of the connectors provided by Black Ops Off-Road for the Anytime locker. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect those cables and see if I can put these in between, and that really should be it. We'll test. I'm obviously gonna leave the glove compartment disassembled, and I'm gonna test it before I put it all back together. But if it works, I should be able to use my locker anytime, and that's gonna be awesome. I got the first connector removed, pretty simple. I'm going to remove the second connector. This one was a little bit more difficult. It just takes a little bit of wiggling from the top and the bottom of it, and then also make sure you depress this clip right here on the right hand side of it. Pretty good, and it should pop out. I want to verify that the connectors kind of match, and they do. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug this thing in. That out of the way. Alright, well, from a connector standpoint, we're pretty much done. Next step is to hook the negative terminal back up to the battery and see if this locker light comes on when I press it. The instructions say to turn the vehicle to accessory on, so don't fully start the vehicle just yet. And we'll go ahead and test and make sure. We'll press this button and see if the light comes on. So let me go hook up the battery real quick and I'll come right back. Alright, so battery's hooked back up and we're gonna just turn it on to accessory on. So nothing happened on accessory on, so we moved up to ignition on, and it looks like it's lighting up now. So we're gonna go ahead and start the vehicle and see if we get any different results. This looks good. We'll check for any lights on the dash, but yeah, I'll take you along for that ride as well. The vehicle started. Nothing on the dash yet as far as any check engine lights or anything like that. Looks like we're okay. That's the locker on, that's the locker off. So looking like we're good to go. I'm gonna go take it for a test drive while everything's undone and see if I notice any difference, and I'll do a test. I'll try to jack up the rear wheels and put the locker on and see if it's actually engaging it. So next step is to install the Anytime Locker button. What I plan on doing is removing the blind spot monitor button. I'm just going to turn that on and just tape it up and put it behind the dash. So I'll just tuck this button up in behind the dash here so I can put the glove compartment back together, and I should be able to just pop the radio out and reach in and hopefully access that button enough to be able to replace it. I'm gonna tuck that up here and just kind of zip tie it to that metal mount there. I went ahead and took that relay module and I zip tied it up in this in this bracket here. There's a hole back there, and then a hole up front. You can kind of feed the zip tie through and just zip tie it down so that this module isn't banging around while you're driving. One thing about putting it back together is you just want to make sure you fit those clips up at the top, and then make sure you get this tab back in place here, and you should be good to go. And go ahead and put those bolts back in. So I'm working on the panel here, noticing that the clips kind of got to sneak behind the weather stripping, so it's just easier to pull the weather stripping out, and then just fit those clips that are in there all the way in the back, fit them in there, and it should just clip back into place. And you can just go and put the weather stripping back in. Next step is going to be the switch install. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the radio bezel, and that's pretty simple. Usually just pull here, pull towards you, and it should pop loose. And the other side too. Just make sure you cover your shifter with something. This is just a koozie. It'll just protect the leather if you got it on your shifter. What I'm going to do is disconnect it, plug it back in on the other side. I'm just going to get some tape and just tape around the edge of it so it doesn't turn itself off. Now I'm just going to find the cable for the anytime locker. I'm going to fish it under the radio cables. Ready? There we go. This is going to be a great product for third gen Tacoma owners, especially because most will want unrestricted access to their locker. So that was a super easy install. It took me maybe an hour, and that was mostly because I was filming it. So really excited to see what they come up with next.